There's a difference between believing in God and directly realizing what God has always been pointing toward. And that difference can shake you. Because belief can comfort you. Belief can give you language. Belief can give you structure. It can even give you something to hold when life feels uncertain. But realization does something deeper. Realization does not just give you an idea of God. It exposes the part of you that has been trying to hold God inside an idea. You can believe in God deeply and still feel separated. You can pray, read scripture, speak of faith, and still feel like God is somewhere else. Above you, watching you, testing you, punishing you. That is belief filtered through the mind. But realizing the monad is different. It is not replacing God with another concept. It is seeing through the mental image of God into the living source beneath all images. Belief says, I know something about God. Realization says, the knower itself has become quiet. And in that silence, what remains is not absence, but presence. This is why so many sincere people feel torn. They believe in God, but they do not feel close to God. They speak of faith, but their nervous system is still full of fear. They know the words, but the words don't always reach the wound. And that can create shame. You may think, if I really believed, why do I still feel afraid? If I really had faith, why do I still feel alone? If God is real, why does he feel so far away from my actual experience? But that pain is not proof you have failed. It may be proof that belief has reached its limit. Belief can point you toward the door, but belief cannot walk through the door for you. There comes a point where the mind's version of God is no longer enough. Not because belief is bad, not because tradition is meaningless, not because scripture has no value, but because the mind can only create an image, and God is not an image. God is not trapped inside your theology, your childhood conditioning, or your need to be approved. Even when Moses asked for the name of God, the answer is not a normal name. I am. Being itself. Presence itself. Not something the mind can fully hold. And that is where belief begins to tremble. Because the mind wants a God it can define. But realization reveals a God you cannot possess. The mind usually turns God into something it can manage. A cosmic authority figure, a distant father, a judge in the sky, a rescuer who must arrive exactly when the ego demands, a presence you must earn, a force that is either pleased with you or disappointed in you. And when life hurts, that image starts to crack. You pray, but the pain remains. You surrender, but uncertainty stays. You try to be faithful, but fear does not instantly disappear. Then the mind says, God must be absent. But maybe God is not absent. Maybe the image is failing. Maybe what is collapsing is not God, but the version of God your mind created in order to feel safe. This is where belief can become defensive, because belief often protects the image. Realization does not. Realization lets the false image fall, not with hatred, not with rebellion, but with honesty. You begin to see that much of what you called God was mixed with fear, mixed with conditioning, mixed with control, mixed with a need for certainty, mixed with the hope that reality would explain itself before you were willing to trust it. And that's uncomfortable, because the false image gave you something to hold. But the true God cannot be held. The true God can only be realized. The God you are looking for cannot be found as an object inside your mind, because anything your mind can hold is not the source. It's an image. Maybe it's a sacred image, but it's still an image. Images can point. They can awaken reverence. They can carry meaning. But they are not the ultimate. Belief often still has distance inside it. There is you over here, and God over there. You are the believer, and God is believed in. You are reaching, and God is being reached for. But realization begins when that distance softens. Realization is not the personality claiming divinity. Realization is the personality seeing that it was never the center. The wave does not become the ocean by inflating itself. The wave realizes it was never separate from the ocean. And that's the shift. The monad is a way of pointing to the undivided source beneath fragmentation, the one before division, the whole before the mind splits reality into self and other, heaven and earth, worthy and unworthy. Believing in God can still happen inside division. I am here. God is there. I must reach Him. I must become acceptable. I must prove my faith. But realizing the monad points beyond that inner separation. It reveals that the divine is not merely an external object of belief. It is the source from which awareness, being, and truth arise. The monad is not a character. It's not a mood. It's not a deity among deities. It is a pointer toward the indivisible origin, the silent fullness beneath all names. This is why realization feels less like gaining information and more like losing confusion. You don't suddenly possess God. You stop mistaking your thoughts about God for God. You stop trying to reach the source as a separate self. You stop turning the infinite into a mental idol. And what remains is simple: presence, being, awareness. The still light behind every experience. Belief can be beautiful. It can open the heart. It can carry someone through darkness. It can give courage when the mind feels overwhelmed. But belief becomes a prison when it refuses to mature into realization. If your belief makes you more afraid, more rigid, more judgmental, or more disconnected from love, something is distorted. If your belief keeps God far away and keeps you trapped in unworthiness, your mind may be worshiping its own wound. Truth does not need fear to survive. God does not need your anxiety to be real. The monad does not demand that you perform holiness. The source does not become more present because you punish yourself, tint your body, or hate your humanity. Realization cuts through the illusion that distance from God is your natural state, because it's not. Distance is created by identification. Identification with your thoughts. Identification with your fears. Identification with your separate self. And when that identification loosens, even for a moment, you begin to understand. God was not far away. The mind was just loud. In real life, the shift is quiet. It may happen when you stop begging life to prove that God is near and become still enough to notice what has never left. It may happen in grief, when all your beliefs fail to explain the pain. but something deeper still holds you. It may happen in prayer, when you stop trying to say the perfect words and simply sit in honesty. It may happen when you admit, I don't know what God is, and instead of that feeling like failure, it feels like humility. That honesty is often closer to God than 1,000 polished religious sentences, because realization does not require performance. It requires sincerity. And this is where life changes. You stop needing every experience to match your mental idea of how God should work. You stop assuming silence means abandonment. You stop measuring divine presence by emotional highs. You stop confusing faith with certainty. You stop trying to force the infinite into a shape your fear prefers. You still pray. You still seek truth. You still honor God. But now there is less grasping, less bargaining, less obsession with being spiritually correct. You are not just believing in God as a thought. You are becoming available to the living reality beneath the thought. That's the beginning of realization. The difference between believing in God and realizing the monad is not the difference between religion and spirituality. It's deeper than that. It is the difference between holding an idea and awakening to the source beneath all ideas. Belief says God is real. Realization says, the separation I imagined was never ultimate. Belief points upward. Realization opens inward. Belief can begin the journey. Realization dissolves the distance. And when the mind grows quiet enough, you may see what the mystics were always pointing toward. God is not less than personal. God is more than the mind can contain. The monad is not here to replace devotion. It is here to purify perception, to point beyond the image, beyond the fear, beyond the inherited shape, beyond the mental idol, into the indivisible source that has been present before every thought, every prayer, and behind every longing you ever had for God. So don't throw away your belief. Let it deepen. Let it become honest. Let it become silent. Let it become direct. Because the goal is not to win an argument about God. The goal is to awaken from separation. And when that happens, even briefly, you realize something the mind could never fully explain. God was never trapped in your belief, and the monad was never somewhere else. If this journey spoke to you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone ready to experience life beyond thought. Comment below. Belief opened the door, but realization brought me home. I read every comment. If you would like to support my work directly, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/magnumopus333. Or you can explore some original merchandise at my Teespring store online. The link is in the description below. Remember, your consciousness is the key that unlocks reality. Let's keep unlocking it together. Thank you for watching. Until next time.